God has given us an incredible £107,000 through our season of giving. So what are we going to put it towards? Well, first of all, £20,000 towards the God First church plant in Gothenburg. We'd originally said ahead of the season of giving that we'd give £10,000 to supporting the God First or Good Först church plant in Gothenburg. After hearing of the season of giving total, Alan and I were musing that would be great to just be able to ask the church plant what they needed and to be able to go back and say, well, here it is, up to double what we'd originally said. And through miraculous circumstances, really, literally a few minutes after that conversation, Alan receives a call from Jeremy, who oversees a group of churches, saying, I know you support God First, but I've just been to Gothenburg and they really want to employ a second elder a week. He's just been brought into eldership and he's doing loads of teaching and preaching. We think that God's really in this. I know it's a bit of a cheeky ask, but I don't suppose you could think about maybe giving into that too. Well, we certainly can, so we're able to enable that. We're giving £20,000 to that mission-furthering, God-honouring work in Sweden. And who knows what the impact of that will be in that city. And to give you a bit of a flavour of what that might look like on the ground, well, here's a bit of a video testimony about something that happened in the church recently, which I think will heartily encourage you. This is the sort of thing that our giving is partnering with.
Our friends were both born in the Kazakh region of China, but they didn't meet each other until they were studying at university in eastern China. They got married, moved to Pakistan, and then he moved to Italy while she stayed in Pakistan doing a job that she loved. Fast forward, and COVID had made their separation unbearable. He had since started a PhD in Gothenburg, and she made the difficult decision to give up her job in Pakistan to move to Sweden to be with him. She moved in November, and they were finally in the same place after 6 years. But she was finding it really, really tough. And a friend of hers, a teacher back in China at uni, who was a Christian, suggested she come along to our church. So they came along one Sunday and then to our carol evening. We didn't see them again until she came back in March. But she was still very lonely, still having a very difficult time settling in to Sweden. We were able to give her some practical advice that really helped her. And she kept coming along and said she'd like to join our small group. But she confided in me that she wasn't sure if she was a Christian or a Muslim. And I said that was okay, that's fine. She was so welcome and we could talk about it. And she kept coming along and we were getting to know her. And then another Sunday, her husband came along too. And we found out that the Sunday before Christmas, when they'd come together, was actually the first time he had ever set foot in a church before. And he'd come along just to support his wife. But this time he was coming for him. And after that Sunday, I got a text from her saying that they would both like to get baptised. So we said, wonderful, come and have a cup of tea at our house and we'd love to hear more. So they did, they came to our house and they sat on this sofa right here. And we got to hear the incredible story of what God's doing in their lives. She told us how she had just in the week before really got to the end of herself. And she cried out in desperation, but for the first time, she cried out in the name of Jesus. And God met her in a way she'd never known. And in that moment, she decided to pray for her husband, who, unbeknown to her, alone in his apartment, fell to his knees, renounced Satan and asked Jesus to save him and show him the way. And he was describing this encounter that he had with God, of this light and this warmth filling him, but he still felt this shadow and he just wanted to get baptized so that he would be washed completely clean. And Oliver and I were amazed, and that started our friendship, getting to know them. And then we had the privilege of baptizing them both together in a very cold lake at our weekend away in May. It's just a snippet of their story and a snippet of what God is doing. But thank you, City Church, for your continued support and participation in what God is doing here in Gothenburg and in the nations.